whole purpose of the crown jewels is to set the royal family apart and evoke awe. But I think we're no longer in so much awe.
The world is filled with incredible objects, some forged by the forces of nature eons ago, others meticulously crafted by ancient civilizations and modern artisans.
In 50 eggs of the lives and the loves of the Imperial Romanov family.
But some of these priceless treasures have disappeared into the mists of legend, their next chapters left unwritten. From the lost play of Shakespeare to a missing transitional fossil, join us as we explore the 10 most wanted lost objects in the world. Number 10. Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum Theft. In the early hours of March 18, 1990, two thieves disguised as police officers gained entry to Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They departed 81 minutes later with 13 masterpieces worth over $500 million in the largest art heist ever. Over 30 years on, this brazen robbery remains unsolved and shrouded in mystery, despite an ongoing FBI investigation and a massive reward. The stolen artworks included seminal paintings such as Vermeer's The Concert, Rembrandt's Storm on the Sea of Galilee, and works by Manet and Degas. Also taken was an ancient Chinese vase and a finial eagle that crowned a Napoleonic flag. Though the burglars ignored more valuable works, they stole particular pieces that critically impacted the museum's collections. The daring heist was well organized, as the culprits expertly disarmed the alarms and deceitfully lured the on-site guards away from their posts. Their methods sparked intense debate on inside help and whether the robbery was carefully commissioned or opportunistic. No ransom demands were ever issued, and none of the missing works have surfaced publicly for sale or auction. Over the decades, numerous organized crime connections have been proposed linking Boston mobsters to Irish Republican groups to Moroccan drug dealers. Promising leads often crumble, protected by the inherent secrecy of criminal networks. Adding more confusion, a notorious art thief on his deathbed claimed to have assisted in planning the heist, but refused to name collaborators. The world still longs to recover these missing masterpieces, return them to their rightful places, and unmask the audacious criminals who so brazenly absconded with such priceless cultural treasures. Until then, empty frames mark the lost works, and an unsettling lack of justice hangs over one of history's greatest art thefts. The missing paintings have now achieved near-mythical status, still haunting the Gardner Museum's galleries as rumors and hopes persist of their mysterious fate. Number 9. Peking Man fossils. In the 1920s, one of archaeology's greatest discoveries was made in a cave outside Beijing, China. Pieces of ancient skulls and jawbones were unearthed that belonged to Homo erectus pekinensis, now commonly known as Peking Man. These 700,000-year-old hominid fossils provided unprecedented insight into human evolution. But tragically, all of the priceless Peking Man fossils mysteriously vanished during World War II, lost to war, theft, or secrecy, eliminating crucial scientific evidence of our deepest ancestral origins. First discovered in 1923, excavations over the next 15 years unearthed over 200 fossil fragments in Zhoukoudian Cave. These remains included enough skulls to identify 35 distinct Peking Man individuals, allowing researchers to closely study an ancient hominid population for the first time. Peking Man's traits showed a unique evolutionary adaptation over hundreds of millennia, replacing the heavier brow of Homo erectus with a larger brain case. During World War II, concerns arose over keeping Peking Man safe from the Japanese invaders. In 1941, the fossils were packed into crates and vanished from history in transit. Theories of accidents at sea, underground burial, and theft abound, but no definitive proof has ever emerged of Peking Man's fate. Further excavations of Zhoukoudian Cave have revealed younger skulls dating to 200,000 to 400,000 years ago. But the original population of 35 Peking Man individuals, vital for understanding this middle stage in human development, appear lost forever. Without the skulls and fossils to comprehensively compare and study, huge gaps exist in the human story that may now never be filled in. Number 8. The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is arguably the most mythical and sought-after religious treasure in history. According to medieval legend, it is the cup that Jesus used at the Last Supper, and which later held his blood during the crucifixion. The origins of the Grail myth trace back over 9 years, sparking epic quests and capturing imaginations worldwide. Despite endless searching across continents, conspiracy theories, and supposed evidence, the Holy Grail remains lost to this day, with debates still raging over everything from its exact nature to its very existence. The Holy Grail first entered folklore in the late 12th century in the poems of Chrétien de Troyes about King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table. Here, the Graal was described as a lavish, jeweled chalice capable of delivering eternal youth and happiness. Later, authors expanded upon the Grail legend extensively, lending the cup miraculous powers and an elaborate backstory as the Cup of Christ. The concept evolved over centuries into a more modest vessel, usually wooden or clay. By the 15th century, popular Arthurian stories like Le Morte d'Arthur cemented the Grail as Jesus's cup from the Last Supper brought to Britain by Joseph of Arimathea. Though fictionalized, this legend influenced real-world myth and shaped perceptions of the Grail for centuries to come. Religious scholars now debate whether the biblical accounts detailing the Last Supper and crucifixion actually mention a physical cup known as the Holy Grail. Most consider the Grail legend symbolic, representing Jesus' spirit and the quest for enlightenment. However, its alluring myth persists. Sightings have placed the Grail everywhere, from Spain's Valencia Cathedral to Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland to a secret chamber under England's Glastonbury Tor. One of the most revered contenders is the Chalice of Valencia in Spain. This ancient cup, crafted from onyx and gold, was purportedly sent to Valencia by St. Lawrence as a gift around 259 AD. Though no paperwork exists to confirm its history, the chalice was carbon dated to the 1st century AD, indicating it may have existed during Jesus' lifetime. However, the artifact lacks definitive proof, as the legendary Holy Grail itself. The enigmatic Antioch chalice in the Metropolitan Museum of Art also remains a potential candidate. Scientific testing suggests it too dates from between the 6th and 9th centuries AD, but no Grail contender has been conclusively identified as the genuine article of religious myth. Ultimately, the lack of any definitive evidence of the Holy Grail's existence as a real relic has led most scholars to view it as a metaphorical legend rather than a historical fact. Yet the fascination with the sacred cup's possibilities still persists more than 900 years on, with romantic myth continuing to capture imaginations worldwide. Number 7. The Jewelsre World Cup Trophy. The original World Cup trophy holds a special place in football history. Officially named the Jewelsre Trophy after the FIFA president who first proposed the World Cup, this glittering golden prize was the ultimate goal for global football teams for decades. First awarded to Uruguay as the inaugural World Cup champions in 1930, the Jewelsre Trophy's unique design and prestige made it the most coveted in international sports. Tragically, this historic trophy was stolen not once but twice in brazen heists, never to be seen again after 1983. Its disappearance remains one of football's greatest unsolved mysteries. The Jewelsre Trophy was a 13-inch high statuette of the goddess Nike crafted from solid gold. Weighing in at approximately 6 kilograms, it embodied victory and athletic achievement. Originally, the trophy was created from gold-plated sterling silver, with the name of each winning nation engraved on its base. As the most significant prize in football, security around the Jewelsre Trophy was supposedly tight. Yet ahead of the 1966 World Cup hosted in England, the trophy vanished in an act that shocked sports and crime circles globally. Stolen just 4 months before the tournament kickoff, England pulled out all stops to locate and recover the trophy swiftly. Even infamous Scotland Yard detective Sidney Buckingham was assigned to the case. A ransom note soon appeared, demanding £15,000 for the trophy's safe return. A sting operation involving multiple undercover officers posing as ransom couriers recovered the trophy just 7 days after the theft, miraculously still intact. The trophy was found wrapped in newspaper at the bottom of a suburban garden hedge. Then, the 1966 World Cup kicked off with England defeating West Germany in the final to become its next proud owners. 4 years later, in 1970, the Brazilian team won the tournament for the 3rd time, allowing them to keep the real trophy. It was put on display at the Brazilian Football Confederation headquarters in Rio de Janeiro, in a cabinet with a front of bulletproof glass. Shockingly, however, the trophy vanished once more in 1983 in an even more outrageous daytime heist. The wooden rear of the cabinet was forced open with a crowbar, and the thieves brazenly carried the trophy straight out the front doors, never to be seen again. With 2 trophy thefts, it seems security measures were clearly lacking both in England and Brazil. Sadly, the trophy likely was melted down for cash, as the football organizations received no ransom demands at that time, thus ending the existence of the most iconic trophy in the world. While the current World Cup lives on, the majestic Jewelsre Trophy survives only in pictures and memories, its intricate artistry forever lost to mysterious thieves and molten smelt. Number 6. The Maxburger Archaeopteryx. The Archaeopteryx is considered by scientists to be one of the most important transitional fossils ever discovered. These 150-million-year-old flying dinosaurs provided some of the earliest evidence that birds descended from dinosaurs over time. In the late 19th century, fewer than a dozen Archaeopteryx specimens had ever been uncovered. So when an eccentric German quarry owner revealed he had a pristine Archaeopteryx fossil locked away on his private land, the scientific community was astonished. This discovery was the Maxburger Archaeopteryx, unearthed in 1956 near Langenaltheim, Germany. The near-complete fossil was inspected and verified as only the 3rd Archaeopteryx specimen ever found in researchable condition. As accessing it required the owner's permission, for decades only a handful of researchers worldwide were granted brief access to study it. The enigmatic owner was Eduard Opitsch, the operator of the limestone quarry where the fossil was found. Opitsch refused most scientific efforts to thoroughly study or purchase the specimen. He turned down substantial offers from museums and even refused to trade it for a new house. Some called Opitsch protective, while others labeled him eccentric, even paranoid. He became notorious for chasing trespassers off his land and sleeping with a pistol. For unknown reasons, Opitsch steadfastly guarded the Maxburger Archaeopteryx throughout his lifetime. He occasionally lent it to museums for short exhibitions under his strict supervision, after which he immediately whisked it home. Researchers were granted only brief glimpses to make observations and sketches. Opitsch's obstinate hoarding of the fossil severely hindered scientific study. The Maxburger specimen was in pristine condition with visible impressions of feathers. Modern technologies could have analyzed it extensively to uncover insights about the evolution of feathers, flight, and the link between dinosaurs and birds. In 1985, the discovery of the Solnhofen specimen in Germany propelled Archaeopteryx research forward through X-ray scans, ultraviolet imaging, and microscopic analysis. The Solnhofen fossil unveiled critical evidence about the creature's bone structure, muscles, feathers, and more. Unfortunately, Opitsch's distrust of museums meant the Maxburger specimen remained obscure and inaccessible to science. The mystery deepened further in 1991 when Opitsch passed away, leaving no public information about the fossil he had hoarded for over 30 years. Hoping to reclaim an important specimen, the scientific community tried locating it immediately after his death. Shockingly, the prized Maxburger Archaeopteryx seemed to have completely vanished. Under Opitsch's bed, where some believed he hid the fossil, was nothing but dust. In the years since, the Maxburger specimen's fate has remained one of paleontology's greatest mysteries. With no paperwork trail or evidence the paranoid Opitsch ever sold or gifted it away, many experts believe the fossil left his quarry only upon his deathbed. Some speculate he spitefully had the specimen destroyed, while more hopeful theories suggest it rests hidden in a safe or through an underground sale. For now, the Maxburger Archaeopteryx is tragically lost, taking with it secrets that could have illuminated the deepest origins of birds, flight, and feathers. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In Spain, there lies a very charming, green, and mysterious jewel-encrusted onyx chalice, safely kept at the Basilica of San Isidoro in Leon. It is widely believed to have once belonged to Infanta Urraca of Zamora, the daughter of Ferdinand I of Leon. However, some researchers make the bold claim that this ancient relic is in fact the legendary Holy Grail itself. According to some historians, the true Chalice of Christ is the one that made the journey from Cairo to Leon. Intriguingly, dating evidence suggests this chalice was crafted between 200 BC and 100 AD. According to the researchers, the chalice was first transported to Cairo by Muslim travelers, before being gifted to an emir in Spain who had aided Egyptian famine victims. From there, it came into the possession of King Ferdinand I as an offering of peace. Such a long and storied past makes this ancient cup a most promising contender for the title of Holy Grail. But what do you think? Does the mythical Grail truly exist? And could this be the one? Let us know in the comments. Number 5. The Lost Fab Eggs. The legendary Imperial Fabergé eggs stand out as some of history's most exquisite lost treasures. Crafted by jeweler Peter Carl Fabergé for Russia's royal family, each bejeweled egg was a unique masterpiece. Lavish Easter surprises for generations of czars and tsarinas, only around 50 were ever created. Tragically, a number of these priceless eggs disappeared during the chaos of the 1917 revolutions, their fates shrouded in mystery to this day. The Romanov tradition began in 1885, when Tsar Alexander III commissioned the very first imperial egg as an Easter gift for his wife. Known as the hen egg, its simple gold shell held a golden yolk, within which nested a diamond-encrusted golden hen. Delighted, the tsarina began an annual tradition of receiving a unique Fabergé creation every Easter. With vast resources and imagination at their disposal, Fabergé's artisans spared no expense. Each egg took over a year to meticulously craft, using enameling, filigree, gemstones, and ivory. Every egg featured an intricate surprise inside, from detailed figurines to diamond-set flowers, designed to delight and awe its royal recipient. Costing up to the equivalent of millions of dollars today, the eggs were symbols of privilege, artistry, and the Romanovs' supreme power. When the revolution erupted in 1917, the Tsar and his family were brutally murdered and their royal treasures plundered. In the ensuing chaos, at least 8 of the imperial Easter eggs simply disappeared.
To forge more abstract artistic works, like this one, that has quite an interesting story behind it.
With no records of their designs, fate, or locations, they are now only identifiable by their cryptic names: the 1887 cherub with chariot egg, the 1903 Empire nephrite egg, and so on. Of the missing, their surprise contents are sometimes the only clue left. The Necessaire egg of 1889 contained a twist-open enameled bowl with a full set of toiletry items: soap, emery boards, combs, and more. The 1897 mauve egg was named for its purple color, but only its surprise brooch survives. The 1901 Gatchina Palace egg had a tiny replica of the palace within, but the egg itself vanished completely. Their true fates are still debated today. The third imperial egg of 1887, gifted to Empress Maria Feodorovna, is one of the greatest mysteries. All that remains is the Empress's diary entry of receiving an egg that night. No photos, descriptions, or details exist. Some postulate it was destroyed during the revolution. Others believe it sits unidentified in a private collection somewhere, its imperial treasures unrealized. Also elusive is the cherub with chariot egg of 1888, its angelic theme the only evidence left. Alexander Kelch's Necessaire egg of 1889 likely survived the revolution only to disappear later. And the final missing egg, the Empire nephrite of 1903, even had a possible 20th century sighting that turned out misidentified. The missing imperial eggs have captivated historians and collectors for over a century, their legends growing with each year lost. Occasionally, rumors emerge of a newly discovered egg, sending ripples of excitement throughout the art world. But so far, the lost eggs remain tragically missing. Their discovery would illuminate unknown details of the Romanov lifestyle and bring closure after decades shrouded in mystery. For now, their secrets are locked away alongside Russia's tragic history, eternal symbols of the revolution's devastating losses. Number 4. Shakespeare's Lost Play. Love's Labour's Lost is considered one of famed English playwright William Shakespeare's earliest comedic works, believed to have been written in the 1590s. It depicts the King of Navarre and his friends swearing off romance, only to immediately fall in love upon meeting the Princess of France and her ladies.
My own wish I thee, in every place.
Many scholars believe Shakespeare planned a sequel, but the play Love's Labour's Won has mysteriously vanished, with no known copies surviving today. There are no records of Love's Labour's Won ever being performed or printed. However, tantalizing references exist revealing that a lost Shakespeare play by this name did at one time exist. In 1598, the English writer Francis Meres compiled a list of Shakespeare's plays and poems in Palladis Tamia. Love's Labour's Won is mentioned alongside other known Shakespeare comedies like Love's Labour's Lost. Further evidence comes from a 1603 bookseller's catalog listing Merchant of Venice, Taming of a Shrew, Love's Labour's Lost, Love's Labour's Won. This indicates bound copies of the sequel were sold commercially alongside Shakespeare's other works. Though no details of its plot are given, clearly at the turn of the 17th century, Love's Labour's Won was available in published form.
When I love a glance, a superstar manuscript to the snow-white hand of the most beauteous Lady Rosaline.
Some theories suggest Love's Labours I may actually be one of Shakespeare's known works published under another name. Possible contenders include the comedies Much Ado About Nothing and All's Well That Ends Well. Their titles and style are consistent with Shakespearean wordplay. However, most scholars believe the lost work to be an original sequel, now vanished from all records. If an original manuscript of Love's Labours I were to be unearthed, it would be of unfathomable value to Shakespeare fans, academics, and historians worldwide. Another possibility is that hidden clues about the play's plot may be deduced from its known prequel, Love's Labours Lost. The original ends with the king and his friends swearing to spend a year in seclusion, forbidden from romance but agreeing to reunite with the ladies afterward. Perhaps Love's Labours I would have explored these relationships developing after the year apart, or a comical misunderstanding may have prevented the couples from coming together. Sadly, the actual storyline remains a mystery. The disappearance of Love's Labours I will likely intrigue and frustrate scholars for centuries to come.
I heard your guilty rhymes, observed your fashion, saw sighs reek from you, noted well your passion.
For now, we can only ponder what adventures Shakespeare imagined for his romantic heroes and heroines in this elusive sequel. The discovery of even a single page would be monumental, but this treasured play remains yet another literary wonder lost to time, joining the ranks of history's most fascinating mysteries. Number 3. The Irish Crown Jewels. The Irish Crown Jewels comprise the glittering regalia of the most illustrious Order of St. Patrick, a British order of chivalry founded in 1783. As symbols of this prestigious order, the precious jewels were kept not with the British crown, but within Dublin Castle, the headquarters of English rule in Ireland for centuries. Shockingly, the heavily guarded Irish crown jewels were brazenly stolen from Dublin Castle in 1907, in a cunning heist still unsolved today. The stolen jewels included the Order's diamond badge, an elaborate star-shaped brooch, and 5 ornate collars. The stolen jewels' value totaled approximately $20 million in today's money. Yet they held even greater significance as part of Ireland's complex colonial history under British rule. Security around the jewels was extensive. They were locked in a safe requiring 8 keys, guarded by police round the clock. Yet somehow, in June 1907, the immensely valuable regalia vanished within Dublin Castle itself. Investigations revealed incredible negligence. Duplicate keys left unattended, a gap behind the safe ignored where a small child could squeeze through, and even rumors of the police guards drinking heavily the night before. But how exactly the daring heist unfolded, and whether it was orchestrated by the nationalist Irish Republican Brotherhood or opportunistic local thieves is still debated. No trace of the jewels emerged despite extensive searches. The mystery has inspired films, cultural lore, and simmering conspiracies for over a century. Some posit the jewels were whisked away to fund arms for Irish revolutionaries. Others believe the castle servants or guards sold the jewels out of Republican sympathy or simple greed. Accusations have even fallen upon those investigating the theft, including novelist Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself. Doyle was commissioned to help, possibly because of his famous fictional sleuth Sherlock Holmes. Without the jewels, the Irish Order of St. Patrick ceased awarding knighthoods and went dormant, finally disbanding altogether in 2012. Replicas now stand in place of the lost regalia. Dublin Castle itself became an Irish government complex after Ireland won independence in 1922. But the original Irish crown jewels have never resurfaced, their daring heist joining the ranks of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, with the audacious thieves escaping wholly undetected even until today. Number 2. The Amber Room. The Grand Amber Room, last seen during World War II, is one of history's most opulent and mysterious lost treasures. Originally constructed in the 18th century out of glowing amber panels backed with gold leaf and mirrors, this ornate chamber was a gift from Prussia to Russia's Tsar Peter the Great. Displayed within the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, the Amber Room was famed for its dazzling beauty, nicknamed the Eighth Wonder of the World. Yet during World War II, the Nazis looted and dismantled the priceless Amber Room. Since then, the room's fate has remained one of the world's greatest artistic mysteries. Installed at the Tsarist residence of Pushkin in 1716, the Amber Room spanned 590 square feet and contained over 6 tons of amber resin. Prized for its rarity and allure, amber adorned opulent palace chambers throughout Europe at the time. This room's amber panels were backed with gold and silver leaf, and set within sculpted wood embellished with gemstones. Enormous mirrored pilasters reflected and enhanced the warm golden glow, When installed at Catherine Palace in 1755, the Amber Room was reputedly valued at over $142 million in today's dollars. Illuminated by 565 wax candles, the translucent amber radiated a dazzling warmth and luxurious extravagance. Many acclaimed it as the world's most beautiful interior, an exquisite showplace of wealth for visiting Without the jewel, the Irish Order of St. Patrick ceased awarding knighthoods and went dormant, finally disbanding altogether in 2012. Replicas now stand in place of the lost regalia. Dublin Castle itself became an Irish government complex after Ireland won independence in 1922. But the original Irish crown jewels never resurfaced, their daring heist in the ranks of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, with the audacious thieves escaping wholly until today. Number 2. The Amber Room. The Grand Amber Room, last seen during World War II, history's most opulent and mysterious lost treasures. Constructed in the 18th century out of glowing amber panels backed with gold leaf and mirror, this ornate chamber was a gift from Prussia to Russia's Tsar the Great. Displayed within the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, the Amber Room was famed for its beauty, nicknamed the Eighth Wonder of the World. Yet during World War II, the Nazis looted and dismantled the priceless Amber Room. Since then, the room's fate has remained one of the world's artistic mysteries. Installed at the Tsarist residence of Pushkin in 1716, the Amber Room spanned 590 square feet and contained over 6 tons of amber resin. Prized for its rarity and allure, amber adorned opulent palace chambers throughout Europe at the time. This room's amber panels were backed with gold and silver leaf and set within sculpted wood embellished with gems. Enormous mirrored pilasters reflected and enhanced the warm golden glow. When installed at Catherine Palace in 1755, the Amber Room was reputedly valued at over $52 million in today's dollars. Illuminated 565 wax candles, the translucent amber radiated a dazzling warmth and luxurious extravagance. Many acclaimed it as the world's most beautiful, an exquisite showplace of wealth for visiting dignitaries. Tragically, the Amber Room's radiance was lost. In June 1941, Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union, looting tens of thousands of replaceable artworks. Within months, they descended upon Pushkin, dismantling and packing away the Amber Room's panels. Shipped to Königsberg Castle, the room was briefly reassembled for display. However, as World War II drew to a close, the precious amber once again vanished from sight. When surrendered in April 1945, locals reported seeing soldiers hastily packing crates away from the castle. Yet no documentation exists about where these crates were shipped. The Amber Room simply disappeared without a trace amidst the In the centuries that followed, the Nativity rose to fame as one of Palermo's greatest artistic treasures, described by guidebooks as the city's most notable painting. Its fame and size likely led to its tragic demise. On October 18, 1969, 2 thieves posing as tourists cut the massive artwork out of its frame and vanished into the night. Though law enforcement desperately searched for the lost painting, no clues emerged over the ensuing decades. Rumors swirled of mafia involvement, with theories that powerful Cosa Nostra families had stolen the masterpiece or even ordered its destruction as retaliation against a perceived insult. With no ransom or demands issued publicly, most experts now believe the original was either damaged during the theft or subsequently lost or destroyed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.